Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Go Green Driving School podcast.
Hey.
Yep, we're here to give you all the information and everything you might need to be a Bay Area driver, be an informed Bay Area driver. We're here to give you guys driving school tips, like stories from our driving school experience, when we went through driving school, and experiences that we've gotten as driving instructors.
We have some great stories.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I think today, one of the things we want to do is make sure that we keep folks informed on things happening with the DMV and around the DMV. And as driving school instructors, we tend to be largely focused on the licensing process and all that. So we were just informed pretty recently that the DMV is moving to a digital license that you can have an app on your phone, or Mike, you were reading an article today from the governor, an announcement.
Yep, I have it right here from the Sierra Sun Times. Governor Gavin Newsom says it's never been easier to keep a digital license and identification card in California, as residents can now add their mobile driver's license, or M license, as we just learned, license to your Google Wallet. Which that, totally removes the need to have a physical driver's license on you at all times.
Yeah.
Which is a huge change.
Huge change. I mean, from legality, from convenience factor, it feels like the DMV is beginning to emerge out of the dark ages, right? With this, I mean, it's about time, but nevertheless, it's a great feature.
Yeah, I mean, what I immediately think is like, is that going to be the standard? Are you going to have to pay now for the physical
card?
The physical card?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you're expected to have this digital thing, there's some old folks out there that with flip phones, how are they going to have a digital wallet?
Right. Now there's definitely going to be a period of transition, which we're just beginning the process. Now I think it started a few months back.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely going to be some years in transition before it is definitely the standard away from the actual card, but it definitely feels like it's moving in that direction.
Yeah, no, we already have some early adopters here. Remember we had Coach was the first person that I knew, our instructor, Coach Wendell, by the way.
Yep.
He was the first person I knew that had the digital wallet, and he pulled it out and showed it to me within a couple seconds. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
No more reaching for, digging in your wallet, looking for your driver's license. And we call it. I would expect this to work for clubs. Purchasing alcohol.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Yeah. No, you bring up a good point, Mike. I wonder how then does this transition to the what is the new style? The federal. What do they call it?
What do you call it? The real ID.
The real ID. Thank you. I forgot that. Yes.
Or the federal limits apply.
Right. Yeah. No, I wonder then. Wow. Here we go into a whole new era. Will passports then begin to go completely digital and all that? So I think this is really. We're on the cusp of something here, and I'm not sure where other states are, but again, I feel like it's long overdue. We've had. Students asking us, if it were okay to just have a picture of their ID. And to be honest, I think law enforcement for some time has kind of accepted sort of informally a picture of your ID. And, they run it in the system anyway and verify. But I think this trend is going to stick, and I hope that it continues to evolve.
Yeah, no, I really am excited. They haven't said anything about permits yet.
Right.
Yeah, so
yes. That's my next. I have a note.
Yeah. Because that's one of the things is we have to follow the law to a T.
To a T.
Yeah, because otherwise, like insurance stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're looking for an out.
Yeah. No.
So
our licensing, everything. It's definitely. And the other thing from the DMV perspective, I mean, think of the money. I mean, a single permit is, 4 half sheets? So 2 full pieces of paper, right, that they print out and give to the kids, and then the kid has that bundle to carry around with them, right? I mean, at the very least, I've always said they should make a similar ID card, in the same way that Great America or other amusement parks can produce a card pretty quickly. But I think that step is going to be bypassed. I mean, it just definitely makes sense that we come out with the M permit here, huh? Maybe we see that in 2025.
Yeah, hopefully soon, because you say like 2 half sheets. No, they print out 4 sheets and then they tear it in half.
You're 100% correct. They tear it off and right to the recycle bin.
It hurts to see, because you're just like, they just throw it right. I'm sure it gets recycled.
Hopefully,
I'm sure.
Assuming, right?
But imagine that's got to be. That's coming out of our check. Like that's
those are our fees. And
we're paying for those reams of paper that they're using. So also it's not great for the environment. Like even recycled paper is still like it there's an energy cost to do that. And that's direct carbon in the air.
It actually is long overdue for the permit, and it is definitely unfortunately all too common of a problem for our students. You put the permit in your pocket and then it gets washed and then it goes through the whole the dryer and it comes back, it's crinkled, or you put it you don't want to put it in your wallet because it's bulky. You put it in the glove box of the car you're driving, then you switch cars and you don't have the permit with you, or you show up to a driving lesson and it's in mom or dad's car who's at work. It's just the digital permit is definitely something that we are advocating, and can't wait for it to be here. But unfortunately, like you said earlier, until they bring that on board, we do have to require the students to have their permit. You got to have the original permit.
You got to have the physical one. It's got to get signed. All the little bells and whistles with that. And as a company, we can't advocate more. If Gavin Newsom, if you can hear us, if you can hear us, Gavin, please make that a priority.
It's a big win. I mean, Mr. Newsom, you will be for your state, you will be saving a ton of cash with all the paper saved with the M permit. So and have it like a request, like how you have to request the written test. Like if you're going to take your permit, you have to request a paper test. Everything's just digital now. It's very interesting. The DMV's again the last few months switching over entirely to a digitized format. We were just talking earlier about renewing registration. There's just so many tasks that they're passing over to the automated system, online, the kiosks, all that stuff. Unless you have a problem, you do not renew your registration in the DMV at all. It's not an option.
If you show up, they will send you to a kiosk. You cannot go there and make an appointment for just registration of a vehicle. Like renewing it. Like first time registration, you can go in there, but if it's renewing a registration or your driver's license, you have to do that digitally.
Do it.
Unless it's to take a picture of yourself.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's a huge, that's a huge portion of what the DMV deals with.
And to be honest, just before today's episode, I began the process of trying to sign up for the M license. And part of that process was a verification of my physical card, and then also a separate picture taken through the app, right, where you got to kind of put your face in the oval kind of thing, so I can see that even photos, right, I mean, are simple enough on the app. Click, renew here, pay your fee, zoop, and then next thing you know, right, it's you get the digitized format. So I don't know how long the process to authorize my M license will be. I will report that next week, but I don't anticipate it taking too long, and I think it's a great format.
I'm excited. One thing that popped into my mind though, like say you're using that as your your digital ID to fly, and your phone dies.
Oh, bro.
And then you're like,
it's a whole other issue.
Can I bum a charger so I can pull up my ID so I can get on this flight?
Oh man.
Or
well, not to sound too much of a of one of those guys, but I deal with that already with driving the Tesla. If my phone dies, I don't carry the extra key card, so now I have been stuck begging to borrow a phone charger just to be able to get in the car, right? And the car, of course, could charge the phone, but if you're out of the car, anyway, we are so reliant on our phones nowadays. It's incredible.
Hey, I mean, the charging technology is getting better.
Right.
You know, like we're seeing it in the cars first. We're seeing it, you know, like the Priuses, all the Priuses that we have, we never, we don't plug those in. They charge just through the braking.
Yeah, no, I love the hybrid model.
Yeah.
We will definitely have to get into how much we love the Prius.
Yeah, there will be a couple amorous episodes of of how well the Prius does.
Oh man, the thing's a workhorse, and you can't beat that 60 mpg, man. It's tough.
No, it's a rough one. Well, I wanted to get into a little bit of our experience as a driving instructor, so I'm gonna let age go before.
Oh man, the old man, huh? Yeah, I just wrote it down, and it seems a lot longer when you write it down, but I have been instructing for 17 years. 17 years, man. That's a very long time. We opened Go Green 8 years ago. It's official owned school. And the time has just flown by, and I've enjoyed it, man. I think my favorite aspect of the job, although I don't do it very often now, but getting in the car and working with the new driver and helping them through the process, and those bonds and those aha moments, and just, man, that's just the best part of the job. I just love that.
Oh yeah, no, it's, recently we were talking, and I hopped in the car. It's something as management you kind of have to step back from.
You're forced.
But you get bit. It's a bug.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, dude, I'm itching for another lesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if someone's calling out, like, I'm ready to hop in.
Yeah.
But I've been an instructor for 6 years. Going to be 7 in April of 2025. So, it's been great. Like I said, once you start it, you get that initial hesitation because you're like, oh no, I'm going to be in the car. I don't know how these kids are going to drive. I don't know how students are going to take to the, like my personality.
Yeah.
And then you're like sitting like, where am I going to go for 2 hours?
Right.
Stuff like that. But once you get into your rhythm and you get that lather of, doing lessons, and you get to see like the progression of each student, you're like, oh man, I remember when you couldn't even make a right turn on red.
Right.
And then look at you here now, you're checking. I'm not even having to prompt anything at all for the student to make these decisions on their own.
Yep.
Dude, it's honestly one of the most gratifying like things.
Incredibly rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah, like, Julia, my wife, is a teacher, and she always tells me about how, like, when you see them progress a whole grade level in reading.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's got to be tremendous. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, we're microdosing that, like,
totally.
Oh man, look at you. You stopped. That was a smooth stop right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, because within one lesson, right? I mean, you start the lesson off, and the student's tentative, and we're driving, 12 miles per hour, and they're locked in and tunnel vision and everything else, and then, hour later, you're like, whoa, slow down, the speed limit's 25, it's this kind of, and you just see their excitement and their confidence growing and everything, and it's definitely, just such a rewarding just experience to go through that, and it is definitely the best aspect of the job.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then another aspect of the job is, we answer a lot of questions, that we get. And one of the ones that we've been getting from parents quite a bit is like, when can we actually start signing up the students for the driver's ed?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the answer to that is when the student is 15 years old, they can begin the online driver's ed course. When they're 15 and a half, they're eligible to take the permit test at the DMV. So the 15 and a half often is the misconception as to when they can start the driver's ed, but they can start the driver's ed as early as 15 and work on it over those 6 months. That way, when they're 15 and a half, they're ready to go.
Yeah. And, like, that's something that we get a lot of calls about. Those are sometimes like the questions like, hey, is my 15-year-old ready for this?
Right.
A lot of parents ask that, is like, they're, I don't know if they're actually ready, like, so that's something as a parent you can, kind of like, hey, if you want to get your permit going,
Absolutely.
You have to have a certain level of grades, you have to have a certain level of, like your chores have to be done, something like that.
Yeah. That balance between privilege and responsibility, right? Like, you want that additional privilege? Well, you got to make sure you're a little bit more responsible.
Absolutely.
It's a great tool.
Yeah. And then with that 15 and a half, once they get their permit, they have to wait the 6 months and 1 day.
And 1 day.
Yeah.
Boy, I could tell stories about that.
Yeah. The DMV has totally removed the ability to get your license on your 16th birthday.
So confusing. That's one of those ones where, right, we could do at least one full episode on just that concept.
Yeah, on stories, on showing up to the DMV, them letting us go, them not letting us go.
Right. The inconsistency, various interpretations of how the calendar works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? I wanted to go in just a little bit about some local news. Like we had the cruise night over the weekend.
Yeah, amazing, man. I unfortunately we were not out there participating as a company, but I drove by and saw, man, some beautiful cars out there, and it was a packed event. It was the most I've ever seen out there, and I believe I read it was the most they've ever had out there. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, reporting from Castro Valley News.
Yeah,
shout out,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Castro Valley News had lots of pictures. I was checking out on that.
Yeah.
Sadly, we weren't out there. We were actually getting ready for our company or our softball team. Actually,
yeah,
we went to an A's game all together. Got to get in before they're gone.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah. But it was an amazing game, and they won.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was. It's an unfortunate that the A's are leaving, man, because we definitely had a lot of fun and would like to continue to support them out there, right?
That's all right. We got the Giants across the bay.
We do have the Giants.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So good stuff. I think that's a good amount of content there for our first episode.
Yeah, and I'll also like to shout out our Facebook and Instagram page.
Yeah.
Please check out the content on there.
Please.
Because we have a lot of stuff going with our, social media team. And then also, if you're interested, we do post our softball games.
It's like the company pride is our softball team, and we definitely a lot of people from the company are out there playing. We have a ton of fun, and it's all smiles. And please watch the videos. If you want to come out to a game, we play on Wednesday nights out there at Alden Oliver Park in Hayward. So please, see you out there.
And we post the full games on Thursdays usually. If no one's too hurt after the game, because we're not all spring chickens out there.
That's right.
But we post that on our YouTube page, and it's good fun.
Yep. Well, thank you. Appreciate you being here today, sir.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to doing this and have our weekly episodes and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all the people that actually watch and if you can like and subscribe.
Please. Yeah. We're just getting started, but we hope to have a lot of fun and be a good resource of information.
Yeah, and if you want to see anything specifically or you have any questions, please put them in the comments.
Let us know.
We'll be happy to answer them. We'll bring them up on the next episode.
Absolutely.